Good morning, it's Fabio and welcome back to another daily market update here on the channel, guys. I've been traveling to Brazil, that's why I've been a little bit inactive, but glad to see you all here tuned in again. Now we're going to dive into EURUSD because we're seeing some interesting price action here within this area of daily demand. Furthermore, the global economies are on fire again. We're seeing things happen left, right, center. But before I dive into the price action here on EURUSD, we're going to be dropping the fractal indicator. So what you can see here on my chart is the current fractal low, the current fractal high, and it's called the fractal structure break indicator. You can't find it yet. Yes, guys, it is private, but we're going to be dropping it either today or tomorrow because it's finally completely finished. Now, the way I use this indicator is obviously very simple. It straight away shows me what the fractal structure is doing here on the chart. Now, as you guys know, in order to take a position, I always need fractal confirmation. So when, for example, the market comes into an area of interest, I wait for a fractal structure break before looking to take a long position. Very simply said, if we, for example, look over here, what you can then see is that we form an area of demand here on the sell before the buy. Now, at that point in time, we know the fractal structure is bullish because here we had a fractal high break. Therefore, this is the current fractal low, this is the current fractal high, and I'm now looking to trade the overall continuation further in towards the upside, in line with the overall bullish market structure, which came from this low in towards this high. Now, the market obviously retraced into the 618, and then from that moment onwards, I'm just looking to trade the overall impulse up higher and to trade the fractal structure up higher. So that's how I use fractal structure to my advantage, and as you can see, after tapping into that demand zone, the market headed up higher. So a very good indicator to use. More information will be dropped on Instagram and inside Discord, so link in the description of this video. Now, after EURUSD last night or yesterday night or the day before that, whatever it is, tapped into this daily demand, we've been pushing up higher. So overall, again, the daily swing structure is bullish, right? So here we have the break of structure, swing low, swing high. The market retraced in towards the downside, retraced into where? The daily area of demand, which lies within the bullish fractal. So from kind of like a structure, so I'm just going to call it ST perspective, both fractal is bullish and both swing are bullish. So therefore, longs are pretty much the only thing that makes sense at current price levels. So what I'm looking then at is the 4-hour time frame. And on the 4-hour, what we can see is that the market came in squeezing in towards the lows with this kind of like descending wedge. It then broke out in towards the highs, and this now here is your kind of like sub for the buy demand zone. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on this demand zone over here. If the market retraces in towards it, let's see if we form a support base and get some fractal confirmation for longs. Otherwise, just let it rip it lower because there are still some equal lows over here. So I really want to see some more confirmation before taking any potential longs within this demand zone. So I won't just place a limit order, whatever, on that demand zone. No, I'm going to be waiting for fractal confirmation within it and really see if there's going to be any bullish momentum at all, so we don't get caught out and the market then drops down lower in towards all of these ascending lows that we have positioned over there, right? Some of you did take some longs on EURUSD, which was pretty nice because there was actually a good opportunity. There was an even better opportunity on GBPUSD, but I'll run into that in a second. What we can see here is the push down, the pull back up, push back down. So fractal break 1, fractal break 2, and then here fractal high break happened. So at that point and onwards, what you can then pretty much just do is get in on the buy over here with the stop loss underneath the low. And what you pretty much would have had was around a 1-to-1 risk to reward. So nothing too special. Obviously, there's some liquidity resting above this high over here because this high did not make a connection with the supply zone. So when a high doesn't make a connection with a supply zone, I pretty much just consider that liquidity. So this could still kind of fuel the next move down, or maybe we push up and then push down. So that's why, like, I'm really waiting to see what will happen once we get into this demand zone. Will we then form the support base and push up higher? Or, for example, will we already push up higher again from here? Then what I would love to see is this supply zone break, because once that supply zone breaks, then I want to kind of like form a demand zone, and then I'll also be happy to go long as well. So those are kind of like the long opportunities that I'm looking for. And then for sell opportunities, not really interested at the moment. Only if we were, for example, to break again this low, maybe I would get into like one more sell to take out these ascending lows then that we have over here. So that's what I have for EURUSD. Going into the dollar itself is inside daily supply. That's why I'm also kind of like a little bit hesitant with looking for any EURUSD shorts. As long as this current fractal high is respected. Let's say we do break this fractal high, that would mean that the dollar is then a lot more bullish. That would mean I would be a lot more aggressive with taking EURUSD sells. But as long as the current fractal high remains respected, it's a strong fractal high, it should push the market down lower. Again, that's how easy this indicator is, guys. It just shows you all the fractal structure that you want. And you can also put alerts on top of the fractal highs and the fractal lows as well, by the way. Now, this supply zone, I'm looking for it to still push the market down lower. However, the 4-hour fractal is not in alignment yet. So once we break the current fractal low, that is then the moment where we'll be looking for more shorts, because then we form some nice supply or whatever. So wait for that fractal low to go if you want more confirmation for the EURUSD buys. Going into AUD USD, AUD USD has been moving pretty clean. If the screen actually loads here, not sure why AUD USD is not loading. But if we look at AUD USD here and we go into the daily time frame, remember that after grabbing this high over here, so here on the daily time frame we grabbed the high, we saw the fractal break in towards the downside. Now, AUD USD is still so messy, guys, so it's not really a pair that I'm looking at. But what I can say is that we have some interesting kind of like price action here. So I'm looking at this supply zone to see what happens inside of it. I'll be keeping an eye on the 1-hour time frame as well. To be honest, like the price action is still very slow. So I'll just wait for it to kind of like push in towards there, and then I want to see like a V-shaped reversal down and some real supply created. But for now, AUD USD hasn't really given us anything clean. Looking at GBP USD, however, there was a beautiful long position to take, because if you look here at the daily time frame, first of all, we can very clearly see here, daily swing low, daily swing high. Now, obviously, we came in towards the highs with the ascending corrective price action, which is kind of like an ascending wedge. Go to the 4-hour, and again, you'll very clearly see a 1 high, a 2nd high, a 3rd high, and then the drop. So remember back at the beginning of the week, we had supply zone 1, another fractal break supply zone 2. That was the short that you wanted to be inside of, and that also helped me get another payout. I'll add some proof inside Discord, by the way. Well, I already did actually, but if you want proof, you can head over to Discord to my update channel. Now, looking here at GBPUSD, we then corrected exactly into the 0.5 fib, and then from there, we're now pushing back up. Now remember, from the 0.5 fib, you can pretty much just get into those aggressive buys. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, there was a very nice actually entry, because here we had the equal lows, which I've been talking about for quite some time. We take out the equal lows here, and then what happens? Push down, pull back, push down, pull back, push down, and then here, fractal break. That is the moment that you can pretty much get into a long, because you have 1, the premium versus discount confluence, 2, you have the fractal break confluence, 3, you have the swing structure confluence, 4, you have the fractal confluence. So there was a lot of confluence to take that buy, and then now you would be around 1.3% in profit. So a really nice GBPUSD trade, and I would just continue to look to long this until we kind of like get into those supply zones again, and then see how the market reacts over there, and then maybe trade a pullback again in towards the downside. But it will also be dependent on what the dollar index obviously does. Going into NZD USD, it's similar to AUD USD with a little bit ugly price action. A little bit cleaner, maybe I would say. At the moment, I'm just monitoring this daily area of supply over here, which is currently pushing the market down lower. We have a lot of ascending lows, so the market could just head down lower from here. So keep an eye on what the 4-hour also does. The 4-hour fractal structure for now is bullish, so I would prefer one more swing up. This becomes the fractal low, and then get into shorts on the break and the supply creation. So that's what I have for NZD USD. Going into dollar Swiss, I'm looking for longs still, but we need the daily fractal to break, so nothing much has changed. Again, fractal structure indicator, so good. All I'm waiting for now is just for the current fractal high to go. Interest rates in Switzerland are now at 0, which is bearish for the Swiss franc. So as soon as we get some more de-escalation on tariffs whatsoever, dollar Swiss should really push up higher. So I'm just waiting for this to be like a real valid demand zone, and then I'll look to go long on kind of like the retest of that demand zone with my stops underneath the lows. So that's kind of like what I'm looking for on dollar Swiss. Dollar yen, I'm looking for some shorts maybe in the near future, but at the same time, it just keeps pushing up higher. It's not a very clean pair. Again, kind of like ranging over here. So I'll be waiting for some more momentum to come into this thing. It could drop at any moment, but at the same time, it could also fly. I don't like what I'm seeing here. I don't really like what I'm seeing here. So no clear direction for me, just consolidating. And then last of all, of course, gold. Gold looking for longs. However, it keeps dropping, guys. So what we are here now in is, first of all, we're inside daily bullish fractal structure on gold, right? So this here is the fractal low. This here is the fractal high. Overall, we're inside the overall sell for the buy, and we're also inside discount levels, okay? So we're inside the 618 fib retracement level. Now, we have the impulsive phase, then here we have the corrective phase, then again, we're inside the impulsive phase. So I'm only looking for longs. Now, we've retraced in towards those lower levels. What I'm now looking at here on the 4-hour time frame is for confirmation. Yesterday we had a live stream inside Discord. If you're not in yet, make sure to do, because we're doing a lot more live streams. This 4-hour supply zone moves the market down lower again. Again, you can see fractals keep on being respected, keep pushing the market down lower. So what I'm now waiting for on gold is to see, okay, one, I would preferably want to have this low get swept, and then boom, a V-shaped reversal up higher, break the current fractal high, and then I look for longs on the demand that has been created. Otherwise, just follow the fractal structure down lower, and eventually we'll take out these ascending lows, because again, liquidity, 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 liquidity. So there is still some potential for it to push down lower. So yeah, if you want to look for longs, you need to really wait for a V-shaped reversal to indicate that there is demand and for the current fractal high to break, and then you could get into longs. But otherwise, I mean, it's very consolidative, especially on the lower time frame. You can see this price action this week has been terrible on gold. Like, all you can make money on is really kind of like those longer term sells. So keep an eye on what the 4-hour does for those buys, because again, the market structure is still bullish, right? So break of structure, swing low, swing high. Now we need the current fractal high to go, and then we can look for longs. But this fractal high break would only really be valid if we grab liquidity underneath this low over here. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in again. Wish you all a fantastic trade day, and speak soon.